Hi, I'm William Tenholder, and I welcome you to my 1700 masterclass. This is an excellent study of the King's Indian and the three principles that you must use to win in chess. You must attack. You must make forced moves. And you must think of combinations that will achieve the victory. Okay, so we're going to go through this now. This is great for beginners, intermediates, even some masters might like this game. It's a great study of the King's Indian. It was Bobby Fischer's favorite when he was a young man, and I like it too. I like it's a very, passive opening, and it's more of a counter-puncher style. You wait to see what they're going to do, and then you bring in the hammer. And so this is it's a nice setup. This is a setup you'd like to have. You basically have drawn a line, right? You've drawn a line. Okay, I dare you to step over that line. So let's see how that goes, okay? And so now we see some maneuvers, and these are all setting up tricks and traps. It's a great position for black, actually. White has a good position. I would say it's equal. And so let's see what we can do with it, right? Okay, so let's go through fairly quickly here. Obviously, we're trying now to open up some lines. And so now we have the C file to work with, right? So now it's a forcing move, because this does force white to commit to the queen side. They're not going to castle on the committing on the king side. They're not going to castle on the queen side with the rook staring down the c file. So let's look at, so we've got forced moves, we've got attacking moves. So bishop attacks the queen as a forced move for the queen. And so now we see another attack by the knight. Again, this is attack, and it's a forcing move. Forces the queen to move to a square where they don't necessarily want to be on. And so now you have control of the board, right? So this is an excellent study on how to control your board. We are in all the positions we want to be in. Now we can proceed with the attack. They've lost tempos, and we've gained a lot of positional strength. So let's see. Now that was actually, I have to admit, a blunder to give up that knight. However, I think we made the best of it, right? So, yeah, we gave up the knight, but we did get the bishop. And so they attack the bishop, and then we must attack the queen. Queen has to move. And now rook attacks bishop, so we made the best of the situation. I'm pretty sure I calculated a lot of these things, but I remember at the moment I thought, well, I don't know, but it worked out pretty good. So, yeah, we managed to stay even in material and actually gain positional advantage. So now queen took the knight. Okay, so that was queen takes knight. And so this is tricky now. This is very tricky. Rook takes bishop. Very tricky situation. You have to be very careful with the queen in your territory. So that is, I'd say, the best move of the game right there. Moving the king up to g7. This prevents anything, pins or anything by the queen. Excuse me. So now we have a few more tricks and traps, right? Obviously, I'm doing a discovered check on the rook. The queen is looking to get in to the king side. And so we have to be very careful. Check. Yeah, that moves the king over, and so that was a great forced move. Now the queen can attack the rook, and the queen does. And so this is very tricky. You have to be very careful here because this can be a possible checkmate, perpetual. Yeah, very tricky situation. So I doubled up the rooks, checked it out, because the queen has eyes on the e7 square. If the white queen gets to e7, we're toast. So as long as we keep eyes on that, right? So now we get to take the rook, and now we definitely have a piece advantage, right? We've got the two rooks and the queen versus queen and rook. Okay, so this is the important thing, is to make sure we get rid of that other pawn. This is the way we do it. So that pawn is toast. We're keeping an eye on the e7 square, right? We don't want to lose sight of that. Queen, if the white queen gets there, we're toast. So queen moves back. We take the pawn with the queen. Again, the queen, it wants to get into the king side. So we've got to keep the heat on. And so king guards the pawn and the f8 square. That's important. Okay, so queen is looking for other attacks, but also for defense at this point. And now we've got a checkmate plan, right? So this is looking, we were looking at attacks, we were looking at forced moves. Now this is a checkmate sequence with the queen sealing off the h2 square. The rooks can come in and force a possible checkmate, but at least we can get rid of one of the rooks. Now let's see how we do this. It's tricky. Attack on the queen. Queen has to move. Queen comes in. They cannot take anything here, because if they do, we take, and it's going to be a winning game for black. They'll run out of pieces, really, so they can't really afford to go to battle here. So the queen has to move, and this is the end of the game, because now we've got. Let's take a look at that again. This would be the final sequence combo. Okay, so this is the combo. Okay, takes, king takes, and that, my friends, is checkmate. So very instructive game for the beginners and intermediates especially. We're looking at forced moves, attacks, and a combination to win. I'm William Tenholder. I hope you enjoyed this. I love chess.